Thanks a lot, everyone. I appreciate to give me some up if you can see my screen.
Yep, looks great. You can see the little dino running through the desert.
Yeah. All right. So thanks for having me. Have you ever played this game? I believe everyone, or not everyone, but most of you have already seen this before. So that's. Have you ever wondered how systems could work if there is no internet connection? Have you ever been in a place and been told that system is down? Visit us later, please. So that's basically the story we want to present today. Mohammed Sattar is my name. I'm from Avanade, based in Germany. I'm a solution architect, and I do Power Platform and SharePoint. I would like to present you today the one of the most overlooked features in the Power Apps, which is basically offline capabilities. And I want to let's directly deep dive. So here are yeah. Have you ever imagined that you are stuck on a plane with no Wi-Fi? Have you been in maybe in an inventory, like managing the inventory, similar to Pratima's application? Maybe in the warehouse, there is a weak connection coverage. Are you maybe traveling to an island or maybe to a military site with a restricted internet access? Power Apps, of course, can help you shaping still an application which works in these cases. Of course, also, if you are in the plane or somewhere where you want still to hear some music, upload some pictures, or updating some tasks, Power Apps can still help you. What does it mean? Let's have a look how Power Apps can help us here, or how Power Apps can function with the offline capabilities. So offline capabilities in brief means that the Power App can work even without the internet connection. So perfect for this time when you are in the middle of nowhere, or when you have a Wi-Fi dead zone. This ensures that users, of course, can continue their work seamlessly. In cases where I want to cover later, but this will basically just work in the way that the application is designed without any interruptions. So this will allow the users to maintain, of course, productive, and when there is no connection, when the application regains connectivity, so it will automatically synchronize this data and allocate it or to collect it offline, and of course to ensure to synchronize this with the database. The offline capabilities also provide the users with an overall a good user experience and reducing dependencies on the internet access. How can we implement this in business cases? So of course there are so many scenarios where we can implement the offline capabilities. So in healthcare, as example, medical doctors need to get access to the patient's records and to update them with the treatment plans. This could be in a hospital room or in an operation room with no network coverage. Another example could be in retail, or maybe in an inventory without internet. Might be also in the fields. So in inspections, like typical inspections applications require sometimes offline capabilities where they still capture some data, upload some pictures, and synchronize this at later point of time to the server. This can also work. Of course, also in the engineering service, so we still can provide the technicians all the information and knowledge they need to work seamlessly, even with poor connection. But let's learn how. So Power Apps simply caching or storing this data in the local storage of the mobile device. So we are here covering this supports only in the mobile devices cases where you have the Power Apps in the mobile. The application will continuously monitor the network connection when the application is offline, and when the users made any data change. So this will be stored locally, and once the internet connection is restored, the application will automatically synchronize the local storage or the local data to the central database. Also, technically, how this can be handled, so in two ways. So with no code. So this is what Microsoft called offline first built-in feature. We will also talk about this, but also you can handle this with low code. So you still can write some code to check the connectivity with this object connection.connected. Then you also leverage the both functions, load and save data. Covering the next one. So basically, this is a more simpler approach. So Microsoft announced this recently. So to enable something called the offline profiles for the Dataverse, especially. So this is only special if you are using the Dataverse in the background. System users can work with this offline profile, and the Power Apps will basically do the job for you of synchronizing the data back to the Dataverse. In the model-driven app, this also can be enabled. So in summary, like in the configuration of the model-driven app, you can create basically a mobile offline profile. So admins and developers can do so. Also on table level, you can enable or disable the offline capabilities. You can allow this on table level. Of course, also per user or per user group, actually, you can still bundle users or allow some users, disallow the others, and also allow the tables. This is how the application will look like in the mobile experience. So basically, we'll see downloading data, or the data will be downloaded initially, and then it will be uploaded later when the network is back. And of course, it's continuously checking the status of the data or checking the status of the connections, and then it will decide to synchronize once it's connected again. Of course, this comes also with some limitations and considerations when you deal with offline capabilities. So data conflicts, as example, might arise when multiple users work on the same data offline, and you might need to implement additional logic if you implement this low code. So you might need to implement additional logic to resolve these conflicts. And one of the you can, of course, implement multiple strategies here, but maybe like the last updated ones can also be considered as the latest, or maybe you can also allow the user to decide himself by showing that there is a conflict here, and then the user can take a decision which information should be stored in the system. Of course, not every connector supporting this mode or offline capabilities, and some features might not be available offline. Offline data stores also might lead to data loss if the application crashes at the point where it's not yet synchronized to the server. Also might be that while testing or debugging, it's a bit tricky with having an offline capabilities. So that's basically what you could hit when you deal with offline capabilities in the Power Apps. Key takeaways from our experience. So if you design a Power App, you want to leverage this. So make the connection status always visible for the users. Make sure that he knows if he's online now or if he's offline. We typically use the timer control to trigger the resync operation Also, don't forget when the application or when the data is synchronized back to the server to refresh the application cache or to refresh the application memory. Also, Dataverse offline supports is built in, so don't reinvent the wheel. Configuration per table and per user group is possible. Canvas apps cannot, with offline capabilities, cannot happen in the web browsers. So this is not possible. You need to always leverage the Microsoft Power Apps mobile app. Data conflict can be resolved, as I mentioned, by the user manually or by applying a last written wins strategy. And if a conflict is detected, so it can basically update the central database with the number from the local data. Finally, the local data is cleared after the synchronization. That was it from my side. Thanks for having me. Thanks for giving the chance, and back to you.
you.